Hello everyone, I am once again joined by the Homeland Party Chairman, Mr. Kenny Smith. Kenny, we've got a lot to talk about since our last interview we did mid last year. Obviously, one of the big victories was our registration with the Electoral Commission. Could you tell our audience a little bit about that process?
Yes, yeah, it's been a massive sea change since we last spoke. We were on the Isle of Skye for a start,
Yeah.
and I'm now in deepest Worcestershire. So, but the big news is that we became registered as a political party. It's something I think a lot of people said we couldn't possibly do. Said, if you're trying to sell genuine nationalism to the public, you'll never get registered with the Electoral Commission. And the left-wing press will tell you, they made an application and it was rejected because it's incomplete. That's an absolute nonsense. It's rejected because they didn't like stuff that we had in their constitution. They didn't like some of the stuff that we said in the media, and we basically challenged them on that. We changed one or two small detail. I think there was a detail about having a date of when your financial year ends. It was silly little things like that, but essentially we challenged them on all the other stuff, and the constitution didn't change significantly, and we got registered at the end of January, which is a fantastic achievement. It proves that if you go to try to challenge the system, you can. And it's very important, I think, now that we have the Homeland Party registered as a political party, we can engage in the electoral process and give people a say finally.
So you highlighted a few ways that they're not particularly forthcoming. They don't make it easy for people. Indeed, it took us many months, didn't it?
Yeah.
And it's not just our party. So many parties first time round get rejected, don't they? In fact, many parties take numerous times of having to do the application process, and we only got pushed back the one time.
Yeah, the process isn't straightforward, and like you said, they're not very forthcoming with help and assistance. We had a fantastic team led by Councillor Anthony Burrows who challenged them, and we had to actually use freedom information requests, sometimes just to get basic information after asking time after time for clarification on things and not getting. We were getting right. We'll take the challenge to you, and I actually believe they came out in a cold sweat now. Some of their officers when they see Anthony's name on things because we have challenged them, but now we're registered. We've got our logo registered. We've got 9 out of the 12 descriptions registered. We've now challenged them again on that. They told us we'd have a decision by the 23rd of September this week. We haven't heard anything, but we will keep fighting as we always do. We'll challenge them, and we're confident in what we're doing. We have created a political party that is a genuine voice for the people. It's an alternative that is not out there at this moment in time, and we're not prepared to accept people telling us no. In the nationalist community, we're not prepared to do it in the establishment community. If we believe in something, we will fight for it, and I think we're already proving that we're very successful at doing that. We've come from nowhere to being a political party in a very short space of time, and we're sitting here in Derbyshire about to have our first public conference, our second AGM, and we have got representatives from the AfD in Germany and Confederacja in Poland endorsing us and saying, after 8 months of existence of political party, we see something in you that from two political parties who are at the leading edge of fighting for their people in Europe. They are pioneers. We've got a lot to learn, and they've sent representatives here to speak at our conference. That tells you everything you need to know about what the Homeland Party is doing. We are punching well above our weight, and for a party our size and our age to achieve these things, it's because we do adopt that attitude that just because the establishment or anybody else tells us no, or that's impossible, or this is impossible, we don't believe that. We're confident.
Well, every idea has its time, and we've just seen in the past year how rapidly the discourse has changed. And it's not just people on the continent who have noticed us, it's people domestically. We have turned many heads. Some people that haven't come out yet, but people who have spoken to us privately, people of significance, people of fame, people that go on television, internet shows, they've noticed what we're doing. They really like it. I've had people come up to me and wax lyrical about how they love the party's aesthetic, our messaging, which we're very conscientious about, are we not? Yeah. And just the vibe. Obviously we promote the community politics. Yeah. We do the litter picking. We promote people becoming local councillors and what have you, and doing all of that stuff. And that is giving people a sense of hope. They're seeing something sensible, professional, and the ideas and the timing is ripe, and that's why we've had so much growth since just our last interview last year.
You're a key part of our team, Alec, and you do a lot of the networking like myself. You're getting into environments where we're speaking to people that historically nationalists have never had access to before. Political parties, when I started nationalism, would leave the stage when the election count was on because they didn't want to be seen on the same stage yet. We're now working with people in mainstream political parties who recognise that our councillors and our community leads in communities all around the country are doing positive things. And in an age at the moment where there is so much selfishness, there's so much negativity, if you get somebody who's upstanding in their community doing positive works, everybody wants that person's help, or to come and push their agenda in the community. So we're getting recognised as being something completely different. We're a breath of fresh air in local communities and down the country. We're changing how people see nationalism, and that is because of all these things you said. We are very measured in what we do. We're very staunch. We will stand up and say what needs to be said. We won't never apologise for that. We will stand up for our people regardless of who is in front of us, and that's very important. But we will work with anybody. We will speak to anybody. At the moment we are denied access to lots of platforms. You yourself have done fantastic work, got on to lots of these independent media networks. They've started speaking to me, despite me not being as handsome as you. but we have all the work we're doing, and we're a great team effort, is having an impact like never before. 8 months old, as I said, and these European political parties are saying, yeah, you're doing great work. But also behind the scenes, we speak to academics, we're speaking to people in the political realms and the media realms, people who haven't yet openly declared for us, but we're having conversations with them. And it's not just us quoting them and coming to them and having these discussions. They're actually contacting us and saying, Kenny, Alec, would you like to meet? Let's have that conversation. Let's see how we can work together. We've already been involved in quite a few activities behind the scenes that we haven't even made public that are making an impact. One of them is again happening in this conference. We've got people from Northern Ireland. We've watched these people telling us that they've been making no impact over there, and we've just gone about our work quietly. And we have now got somebody on a discussion panel who's doing some really pioneering work over in Northern Ireland in a very organised way. So yeah, the Homeland Party works I think it's fair to say in a very unconventional way when people think about what nationalist politics is, and that is exciting to me, because nationalism is the answer to our country's problems, and we're confident of that. We're happy to talk about that. We exude positivity that I think is infectious, and it's creating interest in the party, and allowing people who ordinarily wouldn't deal or talk to nationalists do so.
Mm. And since our last conversation, obviously we got registered, and with that you can obviously stand in elections, which we did this year with our candidate Roger Robertson. Do you want to discuss a little bit about how that campaign was? It was pretty good. I had a lot of fun. I was there every weekend championing Roger, and it was pretty satisfying to come third place, wasn't it?
Yeah, Roger's a very old friend of mine and a fantastic guy. He's a great parish councillor. You know, he restored Hatton Ponds. That is something that's going to have a lasting impact in that community for decades. We were out canvassing so often and listening to people on the doorstep telling us, you know, how amazing they thought he was, the impact he'd had, you know, the fact that they'd take their children to the ponds, and this only happened because
he was like
of
a local
stuff.
celebrity.
He was, yeah. And my only regret there is that we didn't have a bigger local team in Hampshire. If we had more people in Hampshire who came out and could do during the week, I'm confident, you know, he'd have had a bigger vote. But 14% on our first time out, I think, is incredible. For a brand new party that was only registered, you know, literally 3 or 4 weeks beforehand, wasn't it? So we introduced a brand new name to them, and the vote there was because of Roger, and we hammered it every weekend. We had fantastic team effort. We learned a lot. We didn't, you know, other than I think Roger and myself and maybe Adam, we didn't have a lot of people who had political experience. So it was massively beneficial to us. I was so impressed that so many of our team got embraced canvassing. But the feedback, guys, came back from that. It was kind of, you know, affirming that the work that they did. That this, you know, we've got all these people who said yes, they're going to vote for Roger, but not just that. They wanted to talk about the issues of the day. They thought the party was incredible. That's what for me encourages people to do more and helps people do more. And I think that was a fantastic effort for us. At the election count, we had chats, I think, with pretty much every political party who respected the work they did. I think the Liberal Democrat candidates, you know, came to us at the end and just said she thought we fought a fantastic election campaign and really impressed, and she's quite happy to work with Roger in the future. It's changed times, you know, and I think for me, we will be fighting more seats this May. If people are expecting hundreds of candidates, they're going to be sadly mistaken. We are going to continue with the strategy we've had of community politics. It's very important to us. We will only stand candidates in areas where the local community leads are putting in the effort, putting in the work, and that's vital to get a sensible, realistic vote. We've seen at the last elections there in May and at the general election, paper candidates and, you know, per 6 week candidates do not get results. No. You have to put the effort in. You have to make a positive impact in people's lives. If you do that, you'll get a respectable vote. And people can decry finishing second or third in an election, but it's the start. We're in this for the long haul.
We beat the Labour Party.
We beat the Labour Party first time out. You know, we're not going to fritter money, time, and effort away challenging in elections where we're not going to get be a factor in the election, where we're not going to get a decent result. We want our people to put the effort in, and I'm confident people put the effort in, we will always get a decent result. And the target is to win. You know, we're not in this here just to play politics. We want to win for our people, and that's what it's all about. So again, you're never going to win an election just putting your name on the ballot paper and not putting in the work in. You have to put the work in. Yeah, and it's the Homeland Party ethos, isn't it? We believe in community politics. We believe in putting our people first. The two things are intertwined. You can't put your people first if you're not putting in the effort locally.
So we've already touched upon the 2 international guests that we've got at our conference tomorrow. Do you want to talk about the other guest speakers that we've got?
Yeah, it's been fantastic having Robert and Manuel over from Germany and Poland, but the conference is for us a bit much more than that. It's showcasing what sensible nationalism is, and you know, we start the day tomorrow with essentially our AGM. We get the business end out of the way as quickly as possible in the morning. We'll have our nominating officer will have us have a talk to review the year, talk about the opportunities that are out there for us. Treasurer will give us report, and another one of our councillor, Dave Gardner, will do community politics report, and then we move into a section where we're really, I think, for me, showcasing the fact that we are unlike anything that's gone before. We're opening our conference to people who are actively engaged in the political struggle, and we want to learn from them. We want to work with these people. So we've got Steve Laws. Everybody knows Steve Laws, a very prominent anti-immigration campaigner who has done a lot of fantastic work. He continues to do so, and I think from me, he's one of these people who has helped to shift the Overton window in this past year, and it's fantastic to have him there. And we've also then got the Robert Grishny and Manuel Schreiber from the AFD to come over to speak about their experience and how far advanced they are in relation to us. So there's lots of things for us to learn from that. But the most exciting, I'll speak then. That's not the most exciting thing. I'll close off the speaker section, but the most exciting part for me is the discussion panel that we will close the conference with. And so we'll have all the speakers, our guest speakers there, myself and Anthony from the Homeland Party, and we're also adding Gareth Falls from the NI people, who are doing incredible community politics work in Northern Ireland. And the premise of the discussion part is, what is sensible nationalism and how do we sell it to the public? Pete North, a very prominent anti-EU campaigner, is on as well, who has recently moved from civic nationalism. I would argue he's already a nationalist. He might deny that just yet, but to get that broad spectrum. So you've got the well-known anti-immigration campaigner, to somebody who's still on their journey along that, towards nationalism. You've got the fellow doing the community politics, and you've got a continental speaker for a party that's got to 18 MPs, and then you've got myself and Anthony from the Homeland Party talking about how we sell sensible nationalism, how we do community politics, how we do campaign for an immigration referendum to give the people a voice. Hopefully it's going to be a discussion where we don't all agree, but we have a sensible discussion about what is the right way for nationalism, and we will, maybe some stuff we're doing is not going to be the best, and we can pick up ideas for these other folk, or these other people can learn from us. We need to be able to have these open discussions, these open debates. There's not, from my point of view, there's nobody who I fear. I would speak to anybody, I would debate anybody live on TV. I think you're exactly the same mould. We want to our views challenged. We want to be able to sit there and discuss things and say, this is our platform, this is why we think it works. If you disagree, come and have that conversation with us. And I'm confident that we could win that kind of argument. I think that's one of the reasons why the mainstream and the left wing attempted to deplatform us, because we're confident in our politics and our views, and we feel we could win.
If there's one person that doesn't get platformed on the mainstream media, it is someone who is a genuine nationalist. Yeah. They'll platform communists, liberals, conservatives, any ideology really, but nationalist, no. Yeah.
They push the cranks and the weirdos, they push the civnats, but genuine nationalism, I think it absolutely terrifies them, because what we are talking about is natural. It's putting your people first. There could be nothing more natural than that. We do it every day with our families, with our communities, with our friends groups. It is so natural. It's instinctive. And this is what we are. And with our worldview built around that, it's so easy to defend, isn't it? It's so easy to promote, and those that come up with all these, cultural things. That when it comes down to the reality, it's not easy to build a belief system around that.
I think they're terrified to platform us. One, because what we espouse is pretty much antithetical, let's be honest, to what the regime that we have now, which does promote that which is unnatural, unhealthy, and it goes against people's instincts. And it's no wonder that people are so kind of depressed and isolated these days and confused. And the other reason is because we would win the argument. If they platform us, we would win the debates, and that also, worries them.
What nationalism promotes is positivity and hope for the future. If we invest in our own people, in our youth, we give them hope, we give them jobs, we give them the incentive to succeed, the incentive to strive and prosper and thrive. And right now we have got communities that are decimated by unemployment, alcohol problems, drug problems, because people have no future. They see all these people coming into their country and being given things for free when they're being denied the basics in life. And whenever they speak out and challenge these things, they're vilified. And if you do that to a community, you destroy it. You absolutely decimate these peoples and drive them to despair. And that's why they're depressed. People don't want to speak out. They're absolutely terrified. And if you have people like ourselves who are confident and positive in our communities, good role models for people who can articulate their views, you give people hope again.
Yeah, well, that's part of what we're doing is inspiring people to be confident. Banishing the fear is a phrase you like to use.
Yeah. Become the leaders you want to see yourself.
It's got to go. And I think we have changed a lot. I remember back just 5 years ago, the amount of fear. Nobody wanted to put their face to nationalism. Nobody.
Yeah.
Right? And now we've built this party, and increasingly we get more people. And it goes along with just the general discourse change. I think people have reached a tipping point where they're like, no, the only solution is political. Hiding away isn't going to change anything. No, actually, we do have to have ordinary, sensible, friendly faces promoting our ideas which are right, which will correct the problems that we face and endure. I just want to bring it back to the discussion panel. I think it demonstrates, does it not, our ability to work with others. Yeah. The fact that we've got so many different people from either other parties or just other personalities from outside the party, and we've told them to come along and have a chat with us. And the fact that we've also been able to demonstrate and inspire confidence and trust in these people, that we are sensible, that what we're espousing is in no way extreme, and will answer the problems of the day.
It shows confidence within ourselves, that we are happy to be challenged and speak to people and publicly have debates with people who don't necessarily agree with everything we're saying, and we're happy to have that discussion public. I think there's a good... I think if somebody said to me the other day, it's almost 50% of our audience tomorrow.
Yes.
Are non-party members.
Yeah.
And that again is strange. People have said you can't have a publicly advertised meeting and invite strangers to your conference. We're doing it, and we're doing it in a local authority town hall. We keep breaking the mold, and that is a confidence thing. But I also have to give credit to the speakers who are not part of the party, that they have prepared to come and have these debates, have these conversations, come into our environs and chat with us. And that speaks volumes for these people. That's something that people who are anti-democratic wouldn't do. These are people who aren't confident in their own skin, confident in their own beliefs, just won't do. So these guys deserve a massive amount of credit. But I also believe that they're also guys, for me, I'd love to have on board of the Homeland Party, because they've got skills, they've got talent. That's why they are people who have got views we want to hear. You know, and I think for me, the Homeland Party should be a broad movement. It should be a party that sticks to our core beliefs of putting our people first. But I want all sorts of opinions, all sorts of views. I think that the way politics works today, since the Tony Blair days, is they have removed the mavericks and the people who push boundaries and challenge things out of politics. You know, if they don't like the person, even if their local constituency association loves that guy and thinks that they're the best guy for the local area, central office, you know, removes them from the shortlist. I'd rather have people pushing this party forward that don't always fit the mould. You know, I'm not bothered if people don't agree 100% with everything that I say. If they're going to stick to core beliefs of the party and win in their area and ensure that our belief system and our policies are implemented in these areas, that's the important thing. They don't have to be my pal or your pal. They don't have to agree with everything you say or I say. We disagree on things, Alec, you know. So that for me was right. I wanted to be a broad church movement that wins for our people. And I think it's really exciting for me that we have got that range on the panel at the moment. And I already know it's upsetting people in the establishment and in the left that we're having these discourses with people who they're saying shouldn't be anywhere near us. But we're changing what nationalism means, aren't we? We're changing what people's perception of it is, and that is fantastic. I think there is a golden opportunity for nationalism to succeed in this country at the moment, and that's going to need everybody who feels the same about us, about mass immigration, putting our own people first, about remigration, to actually just stop patting us on the back, stop applauding us or wishing us well, to actually come speak with us, get on board with us, start actually getting active in your community, start making a difference in your workplace, in your neighbourhood, wherever you are. You know, you can be a positive influence in your community and start fighting back. We can challenge liberal progressivism by all working together, and we're already seeing the fruits of that. You know, we're rejecting the cranks and the weirdos and the oddballs, and we are pulling together all the sensible heads, all the people who can articulate their argument properly, all the people who are trying to set a good example. And you know, it's the Homeland way, isn't it? You know, Homelanders do sensible nationalism.
So we've got our conference tomorrow. We're very proud of that. But what are we doing next? Where do you see the party going in the future? What's next for us?
So the important thing for me is that we fight elections in May. I think we have to continue the momentum. So we will be looking in October to designate certain wards as target wards, where we will put our best effort in. We will identify them with a lead candidate. One of the things I'm very passionate about is that we don't just pick areas that we think, you know, statistically should be our areas. We have to find the individuals to fight these seats. Now, the problem with the local elections at the moment is not every council fights every seat every year. So it has to be in an area where we're already working, and if they're not, they have to start now. So we've already got a list of the council elections that are going to be held in May, and we will work on these. We'll put effort into hopefully winning seats. You know, bold prediction, but we'll certainly put the effort in, and even if we don't win the seats, we will have set the ground for future success. We will make a positive impact in local communities where people will say, well, I'm tempted to vote for the Homeland Party because of the good work they've done in this community. I like their local candidate. He or she's done an amazing job with this, or she's passionate about that. You know, they've served their interests. I know where they are. They've put you know, their face out on the doorstep to show these people that they're there. So that's the big thing for me. I think we've had fantastic growth. We've overtaken most of our so-called nationalist rivals, because we are very active, because we put effort in local communities. People are seeing that. They love our media output, our focus on promoting our media towards the public. We're not interested in sound bites. We're not interested in trying to play up to you know, the usual stereotypes of what some of these social media websites put, where they just want you to click and like and stuff like that. We're actually trying to win the hearts and minds of the public, because we want to win. So that for me is going to be something that I think we have to focus on hard between now and next May. I'd like our team to continue growing and expanding. You know, like yourself, we've added you to the National Council. We keep adding more officers all the time. We're adding more background team all the time, whether that's in the media team, the political team. We're going to expand on our policies. It is one thing again that I am really passionate about. I want us to produce policy and manifesto that is focused 100% on local authorities, because we are not going to win an MP in the next 5 years at the size we are at the moment. It's going to, you know, it could conceivably happen, but it's going to take something extraordinary to make it happen. Realistically, what we can do is have an impact on people's lives locally and get councillors elected. So one of the things I think a lot of political parties don't do is produce a local manifesto for actually what their district council level people could actually do at a local level. What can they influence? What can they fight on? What would happen if? What could they deliver if they won?
Certainly worthwhile telling people what they can actually do at a local level, because many people are oblivious and often dismiss local authorities as, oh, you can't really affect much change. I think you can certainly be drawn to that mindset if you are just obsessed with taking power at a national level, which of course is what we aspire to do, but it takes time, right? So we have to start off small. But also, would you actually want your guys in government tomorrow if they've had no experience? Probably not. We actually want our people to have actually rose up the ranks and start off at lower office, because then in the future, when we aspire for greater and higher office, they will be experienced and they will be good people, and they will do a good job in government. And that's what we want. We want to serve our people.
Yeah, the mainstream parties do that. They encourage their people who want to get active in politics to cut their teeth at the local level. So, you know, the Labour Party, the Conservative Party, the SNP that I'm aware of, have sent people, and I've been involved in some of these community councils. They do it on parish council, they do it in town councils. Go and cut your teeth there. Go and learn your trade there. Then they serve as district and county councillors, and that is important. You need to know how the country works, and it's a first level. It's easier to win a council seat than it is to win a parliamentary seat. So why wouldn't you go for it? You know, why would you not try to impact? And there's so many things that get influenced at the local level. You know, there's, you know, education stuff, you know, housing stuff. These things. If you ran a council authority now, we could turn round to the government and say, we're not housing asylum seekers here. And there's not a damn thing they could do. People say, oh, they'll just force you to do it. Really? If you ran the local authority, how do they enforce that? They're going to send the army in to make you take these people. You know, we've seen it in America, where you get these sanctuary states. We've seen it in Europe, where Hungary is shipping the migrants back to Brussels. You know, if you run the local authority and you would support the local people, you deliver what you've promised these people. So there is massive capital, I think, to be made from focusing on local areas, producing policy and manifesto that people can see as tangible. They can see that, oh yeah, this could actually change in my local community for the better. We're putting local people first, you know, for housing. You know, we make sure that schools are their menus are supplied by local companies and local producers. These are the positive things that you could influence at local level that people would really want to see happen, and it could realistically happen if you ran a local authority, which is much more realistic than you know, being in government anytime soon. So I think that's where we're a very pragmatic and realistic political party. You know, we believe in making things happen and in achieving realistic goals, realistic aims that deliver for people. So nothing is impossible, but we are targeting what's possible to begin with.
Cool. So we're going to field candidates. We're hopefully going to grow and grow. We're going to have another conference next year. Our membership's going to grow. So it's just going to be another year of growth, isn't it?
It is indeed, yeah. I think we've already. You know, I left this morning being told we'd signed up a new member today. So it's a constant process. We want to keep bringing people on board, give people opportunities. Our officers are already, you know, trained in asking people, what can you do? You know, what can you volunteer with? And people do join political parties. I don't have any skills, and then they have a 20-minute conversation with one of our local officers, and then they go away with 4 jobs if they want them. You know, there's always something that somebody can do, and that's it. You know, we want to continue the momentum. We want to continue growing, and it is something that has to happen. If we wanted to achieve power, we've got to keep working. And I think, for me, the exciting thing about the Homeland Party is we have got a dedicated core. You know, we work every single week. We have meetings, not just at a national level, at a regional level, on a weekly basis. I haven't heard of any other nationalist political party that puts that much effort into their work. You know, we set action points and targets, and people come to the meetings and they have to deliver them. If they don't, they get chased up. You know, we are determined to win, and we have professional, and we set up mechanisms and structures to make that possible. I mean, we've had conversations today where we're talking to people who said, well, you know, I don't really see myself a leader, and then they start telling you about some of the things you're doing. Well, that's leadership. Oh, I've never thought about that before. Maybe I could do this. And I said, well, what is it that you're lacking? And they said, well, I'm not able to do this, or I don't have this resource. And he goes, well, see, if you're part of our team, we've got guys who can help you with that. We can provide you with support, we can provide you encouragement, we can do research for you. The bigger we build our team, the stronger we become, the more people can feed into these resources, and the more we can support other people to achieve things in their local area. We win as a team. And for me, I am super confident that we are creating an unbelievable team, the best I've seen in nationalism. And I've been involved in
for a
long time, and involved in things that have been absolutely fantastic when momentum was up there, and I honestly, I've never been so confident of a team as I am now.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Kenny, for your time. We're going to have a fantastic conference tomorrow,
Looking forward to it.
And look forward to the next time when we sit down together to have a chat about the progress of the party.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.